Om Namah Shivaya. Welcome to Dots of Destiny, friends. Today I'll talk about Saturn in different signs. Saturn, as we all know, it's a very high-grade malefic planet. It has the karmic account of our lifetimes. And so the placement of Saturn becomes very important in whichever sign it is. Because that is ultimately, through that sign, it will be giving the result. So let us see how Saturn works in different signs. Now, whether Saturn is debilitated, whether Saturn is exalted, it matters to a certain extent. This is my feeling about Saturn, because this planet is like about the karma. Obviously, the karma can be difficult, the karma can be easy. That depends a little bit. But I have seen that as Jupiter exaltation is quite good in a horoscope, Saturn exaltation is not to that extent, didn't impress me, at least to that extent. This is what I felt. Feelings are personal, so please don't get carried away with that. This is what I feel about the planet Saturn. And obviously Saturn in Aries. So first let's talk about Aries. So Aries and Saturn energy are two very different energies. As we all know that Aries is a very fast sign, and it jumps into action. So Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. If we start from the birth, so conception, then Bharani is where the child is the the holder of it. Then as we move on, so what is the fetus is getting developed over there? It is such a youth. The Aries is the most youthful sign. Wherever Aries is in your horoscope, you can feel that quick action is needed in that area. You want to jump into that thing. You may feel so inspired. Suppose if Aries is in your first house, then you feel so inspired about yourself that you can jump into anything. Now, Saturn is in your first house. What happens? Saturn is a very slow planet. Mangal and Saturn, Shani Mangal is very different from each other. But it is very important also with each other. That is why Mars gets exalted in Saturn. So Aries energy is a little different. Aries energy is such that when Saturn sits in Aries, Saturn, why it gets Nicha is that it is unable, it restricts that energy, because Saturn is an old planet. And it doesn't know what to do with that fast-paced energy, free spirit energy of Aries. There lies the problem. So whichever sign, whichever house of a horoscope you have a Aries Saturn, suppose you have a 9th house Aries Saturn, you're a Leo ascendant, then what will happen is that you want to jump into higher thinking, higher living, higher philosophy, going around in the world. But there will be restrictions regarding that. Anywhere where Aries is situated, and in your horoscope, whichever house you have Aries, first house, 100%, if Saturn is there on the first house in Aries, you feel your personality is getting restricted first and foremost. Because Aries is such a natural sign, and this restriction creates a lot of internal conflict, because Aries wants to do things fast and Saturn restricts. Wait. Saturn doesn't know how to deal with that energy. Saturn wants to delay things, put sufferings into it, confliction into the person, conflicted, attitude that to go fast or remain slow, or why my work is not getting done in the space that I want. So these things are very much there with Aries Saturn. That there lies the problem, and that is why Saturn gets debilitated in Aries. Here comes the dilemma, and here comes the problem when Saturn is in Aries. The frustration comes through, because you want to go in that area, and Saturn wants to slow down, like that. So such a contrast of energy. But Saturn is not the same in Scorpio. I'll talk about it because both are Marsian sign, but Aries and Scorpio are very different energies, very, very different. So here that is the problem. So what happens is that in the flip side, in the negative side, because these people are not able to do the way they want to do things in that area of the life where Aries is, they can get a little jealous and can take a little shortcuts, because after long wait also, that what they want from that area will not get fulfilled easily at all. It takes years and years and years of practice to uh, get in terms with the energy of Saturn in that area wherever your Aries Saturn is. So that is a problematic area, and it takes a lot, no doubt about it. Suppose Aries is your 10th house and Saturn is there. So what happens, you are for a Cancer ascendant, you feel that I want to do this. You're very as a Cancer ascendant, you're very emotionally attached with that area because you're emotional sign. But Saturn takes a long time. You'll be having changing jobs, you'll not get profile what you want, because Saturn is also the karma karaka. So you will be learning so badly from your experiences that then you'll realize what is happening. 10th Saturn should be better, but since it is in Aries, it is giving you very different results. So that is how Saturn restricts the Aries energy. It is a difficult placement, no doubt. But having said that, all whichever sign Saturn is placed and wherever Saturn is placed, it's difficult. That is I at least feel like that. I don't know about other people. Saturn is a difficult placement, but yes, these adds to the difficulty if it is in a Marsian sign like Aries, which wants to jump, throw itself into action. Like, see, Aries is what the police force, the ambulance, the doctors, they come to your rescue immediately. Because you give a call, they'll come to your rescue. That kind of an energy is Aries. And do you like to deal with Saturn in that energy? You have to put a structured attitude towards it. No, Aries is the alarm clock, immediate action. Here lies the problem. It is lot of hindrances, restrictions, delays, sufferings, mental, physical, for that area where Aries Saturn is. So it is a difficult placement, but as the person grows and becomes aged, obviously if Saturn is in Aries in your Lagna chart, and suppose Saturn is in Capricorn in the D9, or in good dignity for that matter, in any other sign, which Saturn gels well. So definitely by after slowly after 32 36, you will be able to understand how you can deal with that Aries Saturn. That will come to you. That attitude of that Aries Saturn slowly will start kicking in. You'll be able to understand how to handle this energy. If you want to put astrology into perspective, then you must know what energy and how to deal with it. Only with experience it comes. It does not comes easily at all. But yes, with time, with patience, you'll be able to handle that energy. That will come. But on the flip side is that if that kind of a placement is troubling you, then Saturn has two remedies, Hanuman Chalisa, because Hanuman played a very big role in Saturn's, saving Saturn from the kingdom of Ravan, and also the Om Namah Shivaya chanting. This will help. This will make your energy very calm and focused, and slowly you will know how to handle Saturn and its delay. So don't get jealous, don't get frustrated. Yes, it is easier said than done, but that is how you have to go with the energy, because ultimately if it is there in your horoscope, you have to deal with it. You cannot escape from it. And nobody can escape from Saturn. It's the karma sitting on your face. You have to deal with it. So better inculcate those things and then proceed with a lot of perseverance. Patience is very important in this kind of sign, and which Aries lacks a lot. So this is my take on Aries Saturn. Saturn in Taurus. Taurus is the second house, and Taurus is mainly concerned about the family, the money, all the good things. Taurus is a very comfortable sign. That's why moon gets exalted in Taurus. Now put Saturn here. It's a Venusian sign. Obviously, Saturn works well with Venus, though it puts some restrictions also, because that is the nature of Saturn. So here, the person feels, because Saturn is a very big energy. Now, when it is in Taurus, wherever Taurus is in your horoscope, suppose it is the Lagna or anywhere it is, the person feels they deserve all the good things of life. They they are attached to their family. They love peace of mind. They love food. They love peaceful state of existence. They love jewelry. They want the money. They want Lakshmi in its full-fledged, So all these things are Taurus. It is all the good things that you get in life in your childhood, the second house. So Saturn being here puts a restriction on these things, and they feel that why they are not getting it easily. They should have got it easily. Suppose there's an Aquarius ascendant and Saturn is in Taurus. It should have been a very great placement. It is. But the thing is that the fourth house energy, Saturn will put it in a different way. Saturn in Taurus will give you things, not that it will not give, but in its own restricted manner. Saturn gives in break things, because it does not give in a free flow. It's not like a dam. The water is open and everybody, it's a very free flow of water. Not like that. Saturn's energy is not like that. It will give you, again restrict you, give you, restrict you, and it is felt that I need more, because the energy is so strong in Taurus, because Saturn is a huge planet. Wherever it is placed, the energy will be felt, and there will be some ebbs and flows, like it will go up and down like that. So the person will move towards money matters. Family will be very important. Keeping the family together, adhering to the family, all these things. So it will not come easily. If they want shortcuts, it will not happen. It will not happen. If shortcuts are taken, if it comes also, suddenly Saturn can bring some stages of your life when those good things will be drawn away. Because whatever Saturn gives, it takes time to give. It cannot give you free. To anyone, any placement, whether it is an Aquarius rising or Capricorn rising, a Libra rising, whatever it is, Saturn cannot give things easily. It tests you. There are a lot of tests and tribulations and patience one has to go through, then achieve the things that Saturn will give. And once it is given, if you maintain your dignity, if you maintain your chastity, your honesty, your approach is straight and forward, it will not be taken away. That is guaranteed, totally sealed. You have to have an approach of, suppose you gain, because the Taurus placement of Saturn is such, your aim will be gaining wealth, gaining gold, gaining family recognition in society. The family values should be, your family values should be recognized by the society. All these things comes under Taurus. So when Saturn is there, take slow, good steps and don't be in a quick rush to make the money, because it will not happen. You will be only frustrated, devastated if you have that kind of a notion. So that is how Saturn restricts a person, disciplines a person, and ultimately, if you have got whatever, suppose you are in a later stage of life, be in gratitude towards whatever you have earned, and if you have lot, because when Saturn strikes, it takes away lot of things. So that is what I have learned from Saturn personally. So that's why I keep on repeating that gratitude, patience is very important with Saturn. Working with the energy of Saturn is very, yes, there are restrictions. Money will not come easily. The peace of the family can be marred at times. It can be. So incidents can happen, because see, it is the second Saturn, second house, whoever is having Saturn or Taurus Saturn, the things related to the second house will create problem. People may come and ask for your savings. They can ask for your money. You have to give, but in a calculated way. everything with Venus Saturn is a little diplomatic and calculative, though Taurus is not the diplomatic side of Venus. It is all the good sides of Venus, all the goodies. That is Taurus. Libra is that side of Venus, but still Venus Saturn combination is not an easy combination. Whenever Venus Saturn, Venusian sign Saturn is placed, understand it's a very deep placement. It's not a very easygoing takeaway placement. It is not like that. So they learn slowly. They maybe learning will be slow, because second house is all of the early stages of learning. The family environment can be such that it will make you learn a lot of things. People will come and ask for money. People will take advantage, can go away after taking the advantage. There will be, maybe there will be restrictions of money. As you grow up, you will learn the value of money. Saturn will make you learn the value of luxuries and money, so that once you have it, you take care of it and you don't get carried away by it. Those are the placements of Saturn in Taurus, and they can have a conservative approach towards life. Their family choices when they marry, because second house is also the family, the second is also primarily, so they can have a conservative, cautious approach towards building up their family. All these things comes under Saturn Taurus. So that's what I was saying, that not only debilitation of Saturn in Aries, every sign wherever Saturn is situated, it matters. It is not an easy placement. It is an energy to be dealt with and understood how that dealing should come. So here the wealth is the target. Wealth will be achieved with cautious, good progress. Wealth will be achieved. Wealth will be stable if Saturn is, the energy of Saturn is worked with. That is very important if Saturn is in Taurus. Earning is not the only thing. Lakshmi, because Venus is Lakshmi, should stay at your home. That is very important. Maybe you're earning, something is going away. You are becoming too much extravagant, though it doesn't happen like that. Saturn and Taurus are usually thrifty people. They care. They know that money doesn't come easily. So don't be too much flamboyant. Go with the energy of Saturn. You will find peace, and you will have whatever you deserve to get according to the sign of Taurus. Gemini Saturn. Okay, Gemini is the third house. Now, Gemini is a very quick sign, very like Aries is in a different way. Gemini is advertising. It is short distance journey. It is your efforts. All these things. As we know, Gemini is a dual sign. Saturn here becomes a little confused, because Saturn in the third house, if Saturn is, because see, third house has the Karaka Tattva of Mars. That means it requires action. Though Mars does not go with Mercury well, but still Mars in a third house can have that courage valor, which Saturn can be missing in the third house. Very calculative, a little timid. It can be like that. Gemini Saturn. Confusion in taking decisions, this or that, because it's a very dual sign of Gemini. Short distance journey can happen. In the journey also, if Mercury is not well placed, you can be losing things in journey. It can happen. You go to a hotel, you leave certain things there and come back. That can also happen with Gemini Saturn. So Gemini Saturn is that kind of energy which needs a lot of time again to get into that energy. Because see, whenever Saturn is in that kind of signs which are very quirky, fast sign, very action oriented signs, speech, lot of Saturn speaks less, lot of gravity. A Saturn man, when it will speak, or women, they will speak in very few words. Gemini Saturn speech can be little, they want to, but they may talk more, or they may not be able to put through across whatever they want to say. Can be misunderstood at times because of their speech. And confusion plays a major role, whether to say it, not to say it. all these. But still, if Saturn is in Gemini, you will have some karmic issue with dealing with all these things, because maybe your third house regarding your siblings, younger siblings, your showing yourself to the marketing your products or yourself, or your putting efforts, how to put the efforts and in what way, because I have seen Gemini Saturn, they cannot go on putting the efforts in a correct, in a constant way. Saturn wants that. Saturn is that kind of a planet which wants constant, regularly putting in effort for anything, whatever you want to do, because third house is efforts. So suppose you want to learn anything, or you want to write, so writing is also Gemini, correct? So reading books is also, all these comes into this hobbies. Those hobbies, maybe they are very talented, actually they are, maybe I have seen Gemini and Saturn, they have the talent, but they cannot pursue it for a long time. And there is what the restriction about Saturn is. If you cannot continue for a long time, you will not get the desired result with Gemini Saturn. You'll not get, because Saturn is long-term process, long-term. Saturn is a very slow planet. It has lot of time. It tells you work on yourself wherever it is situated. Suppose it's in, that's what Gemini is. It wants quick result. No, it will not get it in that way. Suppose you start a hobby. If you want to pursue that hobby, whether it is singing, whether it is speaking, whether it is writing, or whatever it is, you have to keep putting the effort in measured quantity every day. That is how Saturn should work if you want to, grasp the qualities of Gemini. Otherwise, it will be a jack of all trade, master of none. You will have lot of talents. You'll know that. Yes, I have this talent, but nothing that I'm concrete about, because Saturn is a concrete energy, very solid energy. It wants you to put effort into a particular area. So don't be jack of all trade. Choose one particular area where you want to focus, and then keep on putting effort in that direction in everyday process. Then you will reach that area. Wherever it is, in your work area, your hobbies area, wherever Gemini is situated, wherever. That needs to be done. So like suppose, again I'm telling, Aquarius ascendant, if Gemini is in the fifth house, Saturn is there. So every day you have to put in effort with the fifth house things. Suppose you want to do spiritual practices, mantra chanting, you have to say every day. That is what Saturn wants you to do. You say it 1 day, 2 days, 3 days off. No, Saturn does not work in that way. And that is a problem with Gemini. It happens with Saturn. You have the qualities. That's what I'm trying to say. You have the qualities, but you are like, I want fast result. And Saturn says, no fast result for me. I'm not that kind of a planet. I'm not going to give you easily. Persistent, everyday, constant effort can make your Saturn better if it is in Gemini, in whichever house it is. And because Gemini is the house of putting in effort into that area. So that is Gemini Saturn. Then comes Cancer Saturn. Cancer Saturn, see, Cancer, the most prominent thing about Cancer is that the Pushya Nakshatra, which is the Saturn is the ruler of Pushya. And the Cancer sign, because opposite is Capricorn, Cancer is, because always the seventh house from a sign is the Marakasthan for the sign. It is the restrictions that you face from that sign, or the hindrances. So that is why our seventh house partner is our most big critic, and we face all the things from that area. And wherever Saturn is, you will be criticized in that area. Now with Cancer ascendants, they are the very emotional first watery sign, the fourth house. Now you see, when Saturn goes in transit also in the fourth house, what we call is Kantak Shani. Kantak Shani means what? You will be criticized, and you will feel melancholy about that. Criticized by whom? By your own people. People will come up to you and tell, this is not good about you. They will. You will feel emotionally hurt. That is what Saturn is about. Saturn is also criticism. Whoever can take criticism, which is very difficult, obviously, people will come and criticize on your face, and your own people, you will have a grudge on them, an emotional grudge, sulking rather. So Cancer, that is a issue with Saturn in Cancer. Otherwise, suppose Saturn is placed in Cancer, it's not a bad placement for that matter. If it is in Pushya, then even it is a more nourishing, but you'll be pushed to do hard work, because Saturn will be aspecting the sign just opposite to it, Capricorn. People will come up to you and they will tell you, do this work, then only you will be, you will be praised. And because Cancer is such an emotional sign, they can feel the mind is very melancholic, because Saturn is that kind of a planet. It sits heavy on Cancer. You can feel lonely, misunderstood by people. These things happen because Cancer people are very overtly emotional. They want to express everything. Saturn says, no, don't express too much, not required. Keep it to yourself. Cancer do not do that. They are burst of emotion, outburst. But having said that, if you have this placement, slowly, wherever it is, whether it is in your first house, second, wherever Cancer, Saturn is situated in your Cancer sign, in whichever house, you will understand, or for that matter, Saturn plays a very important role wherever it is. You will slowly understand the term called emotional intelligence. That Saturn will teach you over a period of time, not in your initial stages of life. Because see, Saturn is a very strict teacher. That's why nobody likes Saturn. It is not Jupiter which gives you the gyan and then you sit for the examination. Saturn first takes the examination, then you see you learned from that. You learned, no? Yes. Yeah. Then you understand, yes, I've learned from those experiences. Experiences are bitter, especially from your own relationships. Experiences will happen which will be bitter. You'll have a sulking attitude towards that. 100% you'll have that. No doubt about it. But you will learn that how to trim down my emotions. Too much emotion is of no use. No use at all. Who cares what emotions you have? The society does not work that way. Everybody is selfish over here. You follow your spiritual pursuit. You follow your path. Trim down your emotions. Saturn wants you to be emotionally intelligent. Where to cry, where not to cry, where to speak, where not to speak. This is the lifetime you have to learn about these things. That is why Saturn is there. That is why it is there. I've seen people. What I am saying, these things are all... Everything is not about, what reading. Obviously, we read astrology books and we have things over there. But this is what I have seen with people when they have Saturn in signs. And I'm talking about, that's why I wanted to take up this topic. Somebody told me to make a Saturn on different signs, and it's a very interesting topic. So that's why Cancer people, start meditation, very important, because the Cancerians are very bright sign. Wherever Cancer is a very bright, very emotionally giving sign, nurturing sign. It's a 4th house sign. They want to nurture people. They want to give their valuable time and energy to people. But Saturn restricts it, because there is a reason why Saturn restricts it. It teaches you that how you can become emotionally more sound and not get vulnerable with people around you. Very important lesson to be learned. Very important. I have felt that. You comment if you feel the same, being a Cancer, if you have a placement of Saturn in Cancer. And slowly you will understand as years pass, especially after 32, 36, that yes, this I have understood now how to handle life. So it is not a bad placement. It is not bad. See, Saturn, if you take it bad, it is bad in every sign. But if you want to learn the process, if you want to deal with the energy of Saturn, then it's okay. You learn in the process of time. Life begins at 40. And you learn so much by 40 that later it becomes easy to navigate that through the path. So that's the thing. Saturn in Leo. It is a very interesting placement, I find. See, Saturn is a very secluded planet, very secluded. It is the farthest planet. And Sun is what? The glamour of the solar system. It is the brightest over there. So when the farthest planet sits in the brightest zodiac, What is the energy it is exuberating over there? Just think about it. Saturn says, no, 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 I don't want publicity. I am just very quiet. I want to be myself. I am very cold. I don't want to mix with too much people. That is how Saturn is. That is the quality of Saturn. Boring. And what is Leo? Just opposite. Everything. It's the king. People will see them. They exuberate that kind of a personality. They have that kind of an aura around them. So whoever is having Saturn in Leo, you are technically those backbenchers who needs to transfer from the backbench to the front bench. It will happen with you, whether in your school days, whether office days, whether college days, whether you will be the backbencher. You want to run away from the limelight, or you feel that you're misjudged, or you feel that you have to work too much to get the limelight, but you will be taken from the last bench to the first bench, so that the teacher, the whoever is above you, will keep an eye on you, because Leo is the dazzling sign. Now you cannot be an outer planet. Saturn will work through in that way in Leo. It will place lot of challenges. The father can face lot of challenges if Saturn is in Leo. Can have disputes with the father also, can have dispute in the sense that some kind of morally may not, the ideas may not sync. Those things can happen. But it will make you slowly understand how the Leo characteristics has to work through you, because the sign is Leo, and Saturn is a labor planet. It is a servant planet. It is a serving planet. Now it wants you to serve, but in a kingly way. It is not easy. The mentality is getting changed, and it's very difficult to. This journey is not easy. That you don't want, or if you want it also, you feel it's very difficult to get the limelight through that Saturn sitting in that Leo energy. But this is what you have to do this lifetime. Brush and polish yourself every day. Meet the needs of Saturn, because you are to shine. If you have a Saturn dasha, then 100%. Suppose you have a Saturn in Leo, in a 10th house, Leo sign for Scorpio ascendant. Suppose you have Saturn over there. A lot of hard work needs to be done wherever, because Leo is an administrative quality also. How the king is, that is all the qualities. It is see, Leo is bare dil wala. It is a sign of big heart. It is a 5th house where you fall in love. How you fall in love if you don't have a big heart? Saturn being that restricts all those things. It gives a restriction. But you have to work through the restriction. You have to. Very contrasting energy, very contrasting. One is sun is very expansive, and it sets the boundaries. It is a Leo-like, kingly-like energy, and a servant is sitting. Suppose a luxurious bungalow, a servant or a labor is sitting over there. Does he feel very much comfortable? No, initially not. He feels very out of place. He wants to seclude. He wants to remain in seclusion. You have to understand that you have to work with public due to some kind of administrative duty or something. Your work calling will be like that. Something like that will be there for you. Or wherever this Leo sign is, you will face lot of restrictions. You will feel that you want to push ahead. You want to grasp the limelight, but it is not coming easy to you. That is how the energy of Saturn is. But it will, if you have a Saturn Mahadasha, or a Sun Mahadasha, you will see, you will come across people who will give you very tough choices to make, very tough job to escalate through. But if you take up and go through it, you will achieve that point. When you look back, a lot of struggle, but it's worth it. It's worth it. That is how Leo, you can be misunderstood by so many people, because the energies are not matching. You can be misunderstood, you can feel lonely, you have to work in solitude, you have to work for long hours, maybe you have to work for small things also. That can also happen. The father could have struggled in his lifetime. You could have learned from that. You know, life is not a bed of roses. It's not a very nice fairy tale. But take up all these things and move on and see. It will give you the opportunity slowly but surely. It takes late, no doubt. It takes late, but there is light at the end of the tunnel. It is a very interesting placement. Very interesting, especially if it is in third house, sixth house, 10th house, like that, 11th house, like this. Because these are the houses that Saturn takes long time, but slowly you will be able to grasp the energy of these houses with Saturn. It will. If it is in, suppose, the fourth house and you have a Saturn, like for Taurus ascendant, it is a difficult placement, no doubt. No doubt. Your heart will be like a cold stone is on your heart, because Leo is the heart wherever it is. It is an expanded form. The fifth house, it's a blessed sign. Saturn being there creates a lot of restrictions. But you have to push yourself, you have to get up, and you have to make the work done. So don't lose hope. Time will definitely come for the people who is having Saturn in the Leo sign. It's an interesting thing to do, to discover and unleash yourself, your personality. Yes. Then comes Virgo. Virgo, I find, is the sixth house. Mercury gets exalted. Virgo energy suits Saturn. Though, see, Gemini is a very different energy, but Virgo energy, Saturn goes well with this energy. They are very disciplined person. They just know how to act. Cutting person. Their speech is, if Mercury is well placed, if suppose Mercury is aspecting Virgo or is exalted with Saturn, crisp, very solid speech. They speak very well. They are very disciplined. They don't worry about failures. First and foremost is that. They know failures are the pillars of success. They don't take it to their heart. Any small minimum failures doesn't bother them, because they want to go for a long term, and because that earthy thing matches with Saturn. See, Gemini is an Aries sign. It's a thinking sign. Virgo is a giving sign. It is that's why, because Saturn is a worker, right? It is serving. If Mercury is badly placed, there'll be too much of serving. That can also happen. That the slave mentality can kick in. It can. You give without receiving anything. That can also happen. That's a flip side to it. But if Mercury is more or less well placed, you just know how much to give, how much to receive, how to shape my things, how to get disciplined, how to not be bothered about failure. Because usually Virgo Saturn, they have long-term projects, and they know these long-term projects, they do not come, or they cannot be fixed in very small amount of time. So they are not bothered about small failures. I like this placement. Personally, I like this placement. Till now, from the first house to the sixth house, yes, there'll be lot of rogue grin shatru you have to deal with. There'll be people who will be standing against you. You have to have to be strong and standing against those people and defending yourself very confidently. You know that your goals are not easily achieved. There'll be a lot of failures. You have a lot of patience. You can take in a lot of things. You can assimilate those things and not be wary about them, not be bitter about them. Because, see, Mercury is a very crafty planet. And why it gets exalted in the sixth house? Because it wants to deal with, a Virgo Saturn is like, people usually like, see, I don't want disputes and all this. A Virgo Saturn member, yeah, come with it. I want to deal with those things. Rogue Grin Shatru. I want to deal with it. There are people I've seen like that. They love dealing with it. Because if they don't do that, they feel that life is very boring. Mercury is that kind of a planet also. That if I am not dealing with challenges, how is my personality getting enhanced? Every milestone, if not milestone also, every experience you achieve, everything you cross through your life gives you certain experiences which nobody can take away. And this Virgo Saturn people, they understand it very well. They are ready to serve. They are very responsible people. They have a lot of patience in them. They can endure a lot of failures in life. They are these kind of personality. See, if Mercury is in Virgo, it's a little bit different story. They can be very brilliant also. But if Saturn is only there, because see, sixth house also has Mars also works very well over here. If Saturn is having an aspect of Mercury, Mars or something like that, they are fighters for life. They don't know how to stop. You cannot make them stop. They'll stop for nothing. If they fall, they may fall for one day, next day they'll get up, they'll brush off, and they'll again start running. That is the sixth house energy. Two busy people, very busy in their own world, very busy. They deal with a lot of things. They can handle a lot of things, and they usually will not complain about it. All these things, I have good things to say about Saturn in Virgo, because they are Satanic type. They will every day, they will get up and they will do the same boring thing. They can get bored, and without getting bored themselves. That's a very contradictory statement, and that is what people don't like. Oh, I don't want to get the feeling of boredom. Saturn is boredom, right? It's a old cold planet. What entertainment it can give you, but it can give you serve for long term goals. So these people can get bored also. They don't mind that. They can keep themselves engaged in activities of their own activities or whatever, and they'll not get bored. So it's a good placement to work with these things. They will take time out for themselves also, and they'll do the things that they want. They'll shut down when they want. They don't want to mix with too many things. If they don't want, they'll not do. Suppose they want to shut down some parts of their life, they will do that very well. So it is a nice placement of Saturn to deal with the energy. The energy matches with the earthy energy of Virgo. That's what I meant to say. Virgo Saturn. Saturn in Libra. Now we come to the exaltation part of Saturn. So Saturn being such a boring planet, why it gets exalted in Libra? That is a question. I feel that marriage is something which is, or any kind of partnership, marriage most prominently, because Saturn in Libra is a long-term, Saturn is all about long-term things. And in a marriage or wherever Saturn Libra is there, you have to, go a little, what should I say? You have to encounter the other person and not always place yourself on the top. You have to come in terms with it. That is the condition for a long running marriage. Because see, whenever marriage has to be seen, or if you have a Saturn in Libra, then marriage becomes important to these person. Whether they are able to stick to the marriage or not, that's a different question. If they have an aspect of Rahu and Ketu Saturn sitting together, Venus is not well placed, Venus is with Sun, some ego clashes can be there. It can be there. But if Saturn is in Libra, partnership is very important. Otherwise, they feel a little bit lost. This is what I've seen. To say very frankly, like the other exaltations of the planets, suppose Mercury in Virgo, Mars in Capricorn, Jupiter in Cancer, Saturn in Libra is not that, or not always working too good. Not always. This I've seen so frequently. That's why I say Saturn is a very karmic lesson planet. It is not always giving the best of results in exaltation. You have to live up to that Saturnic exaltation, which is not easy. It is not easy. In the Hindi mein we say dabna padta hai. You have to go down. You have to put your ego down. Saturn is ego death. That's why it gets exalted in Libra. So this Saturn Libra position is not easy. Suppose you have a Saturn on the Lagna, if you're a Libra ascendant and you have a Saturn over there, you will feel you have a lot of responsibilities. And another thing is the problem with Saturn in the first house, even if it is in Libra, it is very difficult to gain the status that you want in this lifetime, unless in the Kendra some other planet is supporting you. Very important, very important. So they will, because Libra is the diplomatic sign of Venus. Diplomatic people do very well with this Saturn in Libra. If really they have a good Mars, if they have the good Mercury, presence of mind, all these things are important. One Saturn alone cannot do things like that. But they have a good diplomatic attitude in politics, in those kind of fields, they do good, Saturn in Libra, because usually if Saturn is well placed in Libra, they can be balanced people. But I have seen off balanced people also with Saturn in Libra due to other combinations of the horoscope. It is very difficult. That's why, decoding astrology, because when you see Saturn in Libra, we expect the person to be very balanced. But that balance does not come easy sometimes. Maybe it's not by birth balanced. It comes with practice. Saturn wants you to go towards that. That is the exaltation. That's why, see, whether exaltation or debilitation of a planet, even exaltation is not easy. These are not easy results. See, Jupiter exaltation, that knowledge should be like that, the higher knowledge. Jupiter is not just the bookish knowledge. Saturn in exaltation means you have to find out that that place, that the thing in your character which will lead to that exaltation. That's why Purushottam Ram had all these qualities and he had all these planets exalted. All the exalted planets are also not easy. They will challenge you in every part of your life. Are you meeting up to the result of that exaltation? That is also very important. So Saturn Libra is otherwise a good placement. They have resources. They're born with resources. This I have seen. They are born in a family. That's why Saturn has gone into exaltation most of the time. Though I always say astrology is not 100% in every case. It will not work like that. There will be other combinations and things can go change. But usually if Saturn is in Libra, the family will have resources to give to that person. You will have people who can help you out in the area of field, or in your karma, or because Libra is the marketplace. You are not alone over there. You're not alone. There will be people to help out in your progress, in your persuasion of life. Suppose you fail, suppose in any area, people will back you up. That backup is there. Where Saturn in Leo, Saturn in Aries will not have that backup. So this is that way, it is a good placement. That way. But having said that, nothing is written on stone for Saturn. That is a problem with this planet. Whether it's a good thing, it's a planet, because it's a righteousness path. If you take that, oh, I have Saturn Libra, whatever I want I can do, no, that will not work. Saturn will, if you don't follow your relationships in the way it should be followed, if you keep on unnecessarily, because Libra is about handling relations. There is a reason why Saturn is sitting in the most sought out relationship area, that is Libra. And even a Venus Libra is not easy. How can be a Saturn Libra easy? It is not easy. It is not. Libra is a very diplomatic sign, and whenever you have to deal with relationships, diplomacy comes in. Think about it. You cannot be very straightforward in all your relationships. It does not work that way. So otherwise it's a good placement, but keep a tab on what you're doing with your daily relationships, how you're handling them. You're not too clingy with it. Otherwise it will be taken away. A balance, to strike a balance wherever it is, wherever this is situated. If it in your office area also, if it is in the 10th house also, if you're doing business, usually these people are business minded, then also you have to keep a balanced scale in the partnership. Equal kind of give and take. You have to forget your ego when it's required. You cannot show that. All these things comes into Libra. But otherwise, some people, many people are born with silver spoon when Saturn is in Libra. They have a lot of resources around them. People are there to help them. That is really a thing, a past life good merit, that Saturn is sitting for you and giving you those resources. So work with them. That's important. Don't take them for granted. Then after Libra, we have Scorpio Saturn. Very this combination is like oil. Mars is oil, battery. Scorpio is the energy stored like a battery, and Saturn is the coldest planet sitting over there. Very transformative energy, very. Though it works, I'll not say it does not work well, because that's why Saturn does not get debilitated over here, because Scorpio is the 8th house and Saturn rules, it is the natural karaka of the 8th house. But wherever Scorpio Saturn will be, and if that dasha comes, you will have big change in the area wherever Saturn is ruling, or even in your own personality. Because see, Shani Mangal, these are not bad. They are very dreaded and feared by people, but it is not always like that. Saturn is very cold, sometimes you'll see people say that, oh, Saturn is karma karak, but then Saturn is a very slow planet. It gives sluggishness also. Yes, it does. But if Saturn is in Mars sign, it will not be like that, because Mars is the fuel, the oil, the driving force. It will say, get up and let's do something. Long-term things like research-oriented things, 8th house things, secrecy, maintaining secrecy. It works very well through this energy. The energy is not easy. It requires, it will falter before it is mastered. That is for sure. Because the energy is a little twisted energy. It's the energy of metamorphosis, making something die, then only something will rise from that, like a phoenix. So that death process is not easy, but that death process is required to make the Saturn work, because Saturn is that planet. Because any planet going into Scorpio, the theme of Scorpio is to go through a transformation, and Saturn is a very slow running planet. Will aram se give you the transformation, very slowly and very nicely will give you that transformation. That is 100%. So whoever is having Saturn in Scorpio, be understood that it is a thing that it will change your life. It will change your life. Yes. And it is here to change your life, to make you understand in depth. And because just before Saturn, Jupiter will be there. Jupiter will usually, if Jupiter is more or less well placed, it gives a very feel good factor of life and all. Once then Saturn Mahadasha comes, as it is, Saturn when comes after Jupiter, it's a people feel that I have fallen from the sky. If not, the person is already a very Saturnic kind of a person, then the story is different. They will enjoy the energy of Saturn. But if Saturn is in Scorpio, your life is about to change, and your life will change. If you run a dasha or not, if you run a dasha, no question about it. But store that energy, whatever. If you have, Scorpio is also very sulking nature inside. They have grudges. They have huge grudges within them, that I've seen for Scorpio. They are not very fast-paced sign. They will do in parts. And if Saturn is there, that becomes very prominent. They will not reveal things. They can keep the secrecy. Saturn will make them work in solitude. They can be great researchers, people with great qualities. They have these qualities. Saturn works in a very different way, but in Scorpio, but it will change you as a person. It will change, and slowly you will be able to understand that yes, this change was required for me. That is how the Scorpio energy, it's a battery. Scorpio is a battery energy. You can store a lot of energy into it, and when it is required, slowly you can give out that energy. Again, you have to recharge yourself, because Saturn will ensure long hours of working through that energy. It's not an easy arrangement. It is not an easy thing for having Saturn in Scorpio. The energies are very deep, very mystical, very out of not easily fathomable at the beginning, especially if there is a dasha of Saturn in Scorpio. Saturn can be really rough phase, and you may be trying to find what actually is happening. Those things can happen, but it will bring a lot of changes. That change, you have to accept it. Accept the change. Go with the change. Don't restrict, don't put the change on hold, that I'll not change. Don't put it into rigidity. Flow with that energy, then it will be good. For Scorpio people, for Scorpio Saturn. Yes. Then comes Sagittarius Saturn. Sagittarius Saturn, see, ninth house Saturn. Usually ninth house is a Jupiterian house, and Sagittarius is the archer. It is always ready to move. That's why the legs are of the horse, and bow and arrow, and is running towards its goal. Very free spirited. And put Saturn into that, what happens? Saturn says, no, you cannot be like that. Kind of an energy is not attracted over here. Because they want to go with the traditions of the society also, but they want to move fast also. They want to achieve also things. Usually that is why Sagittarian people will have always back spinal cord related issues they can have. They want to do many things at a time. They want to go for long distance journey, jump, maybe not like Aries, not like the ambulance and the police, but they like a free spirited life. Saturn there gives lot of restrictions to the higher living, the higher thinking that they want to go through. Saturn puts a restriction. First, take things, understand how to, because Saturn is always calculatively moving ahead, not jumping into things, not doing what you feel fortunate about. That is not the energy of Saturn. Saturn, that is why, is a restrictive planet. To work with the Saturn energy for Sagittarius, wherever Sagittarius is, because Sagittarius is the Jupiterian higher thinking, the blissful feeling. Saturn will not give that feeling easily. It will come with time. It is energy which slowly gives way. It's not an easy energy. Though Saturn Jupiter are neutral to each other, they are not enemy planets. But ninth house Saturn can have some problems with the father, some disagreements in the initial life. Slowly that can come to a negotiation. If you want to go for higher studies, you cannot find immediately a good teacher. If you want to follow a religion, you can start nitpicking that, no, this is a fault. With faith does not come easily. With Saturn, faith is not an easy thing. Saturn is not a planet of, it is a questioning planet. It is not so much concerned with the faith. But Jupiterian sign Sagittarius is like traditionally very faithful, very religious, very devoted sign. Saturn questions the activities. Here lies a problem with Saturn in Sagittarius, which takes time to understand that how to deal with this energy. I want to go forward, but I am being restricted. So that is the only thing about Saturn in Sagittarius. Otherwise, it is the ninth house. You can feel that fortune is sometimes not as much favoring you as it should do. Can feel restrictive. Can feel the long distance journeys, the free spirit that you want to go is not happening easily to you. These feelings can happen with Sagittarius Saturn. So Saturn is usually a planet of, it is not an easy planet to understand the energy of Saturn. Slowly as ages pass, when you come to the mid age, 30 to 36, you understand, yes, this is how I have to handle this energy. This I have to do with it. So there's no point in getting pent up anger and anger towards some religion, some faith. Uh, Let yourself loose slowly. Whether to move ahead or move forward, there always can be that kind of a contradiction happening in your mind. Slowly you will understand it is giving way to a bigger thought, bigger understanding. Spirituality should be followed. Meditativeness, good religion, following a path is very important, the higher path. It will give peace to the mind. Yeah. Saturn in Capricorn. Capricorn is the 10th house of Saturn, Saturn's own sign. But problem is that over here with Saturn is that it is the karma side of Saturn, and 12th from Aquarius, the Mool Trikon of Saturn. So this sign is already, if a person is having Saturn and Capricorn, they mature at a very early age. They understand that life is not a bed of roses for them. Any achievement does not come easily. Saturn takes out the full karma that requires to be solved in this lifetime. And I have seen Capricorn Saturn people with lot of endurance, lot of patience. They have went through lot of life learning lessons. Still they have adhered to their way of working. Righteousness is very important over here. Following a higher spiritual thing is very important, because from Capricorn, Saturn's first aspect is on Pisces. So here you have to, because third aspect of Saturn is dealing with the putting effort in that area. So for them, work becomes worship. The problem part is that how much they are very methodical, maybe very sincere, maybe not, they are sincere, hardworking, methodical, a lot of things for that the qualities they have are good, but success comes late. Success is not easy in whichever field they are. In administrative field also, if Mars is there, it's good. Suppose you have a Capricorn and you have a, suppose Aries ascendant, you have a Mars in Aries and Capricorn in Saturn. See, just I'm talking about. So Mars, so this, or Mars is in Capricorn. This is a good placement. I mean, Mars, if it is in Kendra to Saturn, then this placement becomes easier, much easier. I mean, you will have that, because from Saturn, Mars is in Kendra, or Mars is aspecting this Saturn with its exalted sign. Mars is here very important to keep that gusto going. Otherwise, it feels a little bit burdened at times with this kind of an arrangement. It feels a lot of responsibilities. Not that they are unable to go with that responsibility, but if Mars aspect is there, or Mars is well placed in the horoscope with Saturn and Capricorn arrangement in the horoscope, then it gives a very good push to the horoscope. Because see, Mars is a driving force. That is very important. You know what to do the karma. You have all the skills. If Mercury is good, or you have the discipline, you have the long-term waiting, nature in you. All these things are there. But if Mars is not good, then the horoscope will not get that vibe. If Mars is good, then I feel this placement becomes more dynamic. They know that how to get going and how to be not to get depressed by this situation, because Saturn can create a lot of huge karma in Capricorn. See, 10th house is the karma. You need to work, and the karma phala is also in the hand of Saturn in Aquarius, 11th house. So it is very easy to say Saturn and Capricorn, but I have seen it's a very tough placement, very tough. Saturn is more or less tough in most of the signs, but here it's it is difficult to deal with that, though the people having this placement will have immense dutiful activity, lot of perseverance, lot of patience, lot of long term wait. If they fail also, they again try and do. Only thing, they will be a little slow and can have some disputes in believing their self. That's why I said Mars should be important in the horoscope. Mars should be well placed, because see, the Mars is Aries, right? So it is a self confidence. So if it is added with self confidence, which usually, if Mars is not very well placed, then Saturn Capricorn can give a very low self esteem also. There lies a problem. Here I feel reading Hanuman Chalisa every day and being a Shiv Bhakt becomes very important, very, very important. It will give you the edge. It will give you the edge, and it will polish your Mars also, reading Hanuman Chalisa, because Mars gets exalted in Capricorn. So if Mars is well placed, this situation I feel can go lengths after a long time, but surely they will get good success in whichever area they are looking for. And but if Mars is not good, they have to do some remedies regarding that, because otherwise Saturn will take too much of the horoscope, and things can get very much delayed, or the self-esteem, that I can get good things in life, or I can get success in life, can get little diminished from within. So that is the issue over here. Saturn in Aquarius, the Mool Trikon, sounds very good. Saturn is in 11th house. Here, humanitarian cause is the main cause, which I feel. These people will come ultimately into terms that they are here to solve the higher humanitarian. That's why that picture, that water is overflowing from that picture. They're giving. Whatever, because first you have to establish yourself, because it is the ultimate house of gains and networking. Though Saturnic networking is not a very lovey-dovey relationship networking. It's the 11th house though, but Saturnic relationships are cut to cut, and very less friends they will have. Their choices will be very, very particular. They're about choices. They just cannot go around with people. They will not be able to do that. They need specific qualities to mix with people. So those things are there. They can and they will make money if Venus is also good situated and Mars is good situated. If Rahu, because see here Dhanishta Shatabhisha becomes very important in Aquarius. Uttar Bhadrapada is also important, but I feel Dhanishta, that is Mars and Rahu, if Saturn is in Aquarius, Mars and Rahu should be well placed. Then they will have that humanitarian cause. Good Rahu and good Mars will give them the money to help people, to give donations, because see, Aquarius, Saturn, they are like saintly rich people. That is the ideal situation with Saturn in Aquarius. They get a lot of money and they given for philanthropy, and because it is the sign of giving, serving in the highest good. And also if they have a lot of money also, they don't they are not very attached to it, because Saturn is a planet of detachment. By the time they have that money, the process they have gone through, they will understand that too much attachment to things is unnecessary. That is they will, this is that way it's a good placement. But again, Saturn being Saturn, nothing comes easy. They have to go through phases where they have to pick and choose the way they have to make their money, because 11th house is all the big desires. These are not small desires, and a person going towards that, whether politics, whether they can be, if it is in Shatabhisha Saturn, it can be medical things, because it is 100 doctors to the god, and knowing, giving free things to people, helping, philanthropy, helping the society in some way. All are the higher humanitarian causes. Saturn in, they cannot move out of that zone. After all, they have to, whichever way they make money, their satisfaction will lie in doing greater things for the 11th house cause. That is the desire. That is the desire. So wherever Saturn is in Aquarius, the thinking should be a little broad, not restrictive. Broad in the sense long term, because 11th house are long term things. Things will not come very easily. Saturn gives nothing easily. In its own Mughal Trikon sign, wherever it is, it does not give away things easily. It comes late, but it comes. It is a good arrangement. But by that time, you'll be able to realize a lot of spiritual things will also come, because Saturn works in such a way, it will make you understand this, the spirituality working with your experiences. So that is what I felt about Saturn in Aquarius. It is special. It's a special arrangement. You have a destined thing to do this lifetime. It is, because Saturn is here to give you the result. It's the 11th house. Your 10th house karma good, then only Saturn gives you results in the 11th house. So it is a good placement. Only obviously Saturn takes time to give its things. It does not comes very fast and very easy. That is having said. That is understood. Saturn in Pisces, 12th house Saturn. Pisces is a very dreamy sign, again a Jupiterian sign. Here, a practical planet like Saturn, Mercury, these planets feel restricted. The imagination can be restrictive. The sleeping pattern can be a problem. Living in foreign countries in isolation can give you a lot of spiritual insights, because see, Pisces, wherever Pisces it is ultimately the sign of foreign destination, loneliness, dreamy thing, bigger ideas, isolation, working in the background, all these things. That is Pisces. That is Pisces. So Saturn, it's cold, and Saturn is even a colder planet. So here, to work with the energy of Pisces Saturn, one must go for spiritual pursuits. One has to, because this is how you will be able to handle this Saturn. Knowing about the practicality, but surrender does not come easily over here with Saturn. And Pisces is all about surrendering. If you have a Lagna Lord in Pisces, you have to surrender things. Wherever Pisces is in your horoscope, it is calling for that. That is the energy of Pisces. It is so huge, Akash Tattva, Jupiter. And if Jupiter is in Pisces, you get that knowledge so fast. The surrender comes so easily. You are at peace with the higher force. Here it's all about that. Yes, you can go to foreign destinations. You can have karma in foreign destinations. You can live in long distance, foreign countries, isolated places, cold places. All these are correct with Saturn over here. But main thing is that why this karma is happening with you, you have to understand the higher purpose. You cannot restrict yourself over there, because Saturn is too practical. Mercury, that's why it gets debilitated in Pisces, because it does not understand what to, Virgo is Rogrin Shatru. Mercury doesn't understand what to hold and what to give away. Pisces is such a big space. Surrendering to the ultimate. Maybe because I do my spiritual practices, I'm able to understand the energy. It is not an easy energy. It gives frustration. It gives restrictiveness. You want, because if that kind of a placement is there in your horoscope, Saturn in Pisces, you may feel that your imagination, whatever you imagine, is very restrictive, or you may not go to that level. You feel it is not possible, but if you surrender slowly, that surrender stage must happen. That's what I'm trying to say. It is a restrictive energy, no doubt about that. It is a restrictive energy. Saturn, if you have in Pisces, means lot of karma. You have to live in isolation also for long times to solve that karma, understand that karma. Loneliness can be a part, you feel like that, but only that will bring you in terms with what you have to understand, because Saturn is not like Jupiter. That's what I said, that Saturn always gives the exam first and then it teaches you a lesson. So it is, I can say, it is a very, out of Cancer, Scorpio and Pisces, I feel Pisces is in the watery sign, Pisces is the most difficult placement of Saturn. You can go into philanthropy, serving people. Don't show off that. If you do it in private practice, you will get a lot of peace, because ultimate achievement is about getting the peace and the clarity in your mind. The Pisces is that sign where you're heading towards the ultimate. If this is a big placement, actually it's a very highly spiritual placement. It will invoke spirituality in you. It does that 100%. It does. If Jupiter is well placed, it will come a little bit easily. It will come a little bit with satisfaction and easiness. If Jupiter is not well, then it comes with, you'll be fighting first with the force. No, I don't want to go into that area. But ultimately, it will make you submit over there. That kind of a energy is Saturn. So this is Pisces, all the signs about Saturn. I'll have a next topic in the next video. Till then, take care. Om Namah Shivaya.